What is going on, everybody? I'm gonna wait for some people to come on here, and so we can get going and get rolling. Jeff, what's up, man? How you doing? All right, we got some people rolling in here. What's up, guys? Hey, Andrea, what's up? Russell, what's going on? Amy, how's it going? Mr. David Bailiff, what's up? Hey, while we're waiting for more people to come on here, which there's already 6 of you, so that's amazing. I'm gonna tell you guys real quick. I just about an hour ago I got off the phone with a friend of mine who is a concierge orthotics guy. He's a concierge orthotics guy, and he told me about something that I've never even thought would be possible in the concierge realm. So that's why I want to tell you guys real quick as we wait for people to hop on here. But basically, he called me up and he said, "Hey, I've got an amazing opportunity. Want to see if you are interested." And I said, "Yeah, sure. Let's hear about it." Serena, what's going on? Darren, thank you for watching. And he said, "I've got an amazing opportunity." And so he started to talk to me, and basically he is working correctional facility contracts. Belisa, what's up? Thank you guys for coming on. First off, he's working correctional facility contracts, and he told me that basically, I know that's scary, but he told me that basically he's getting paid. They're paying him 1.5 what, basically 1.5 what Medicare would pay him. And he said they're looking for multiple physical therapists to do the same. And basically, they're looking for physical therapists with their own businesses that have autonomy, that can come up there and set up their own hours, and then they'll line up the patients that need help, and you'll get paid for your per visit. But basically, what he was telling me is that, you basically have the opportunity to make like $150 a visit, or maybe even more. And I've never even thought that was a possibility doing that. So I want to tell you guys that first, because I just thought that was so incredibly interesting. I'm gonna relay that to some people in the area that I'm helping to start their concierge practices. But I just thought that was incredible. If you want to work in that area, that's obviously, he said that you have a bodyguard that would basically, or a police officer that would go into every single visit with you, that type of thing. But guys, the point is there are opportunities everywhere, and that's kind of what we got to talking about. Courtney, what's up? But now that I got that out of the way, I just wanted to tell you guys that first. Any correctional facilities in your area, and if that ever interests you, you know what, prisoners, man, they need help too. Let's just be honest. And to me, it sounded like kind of an exciting opportunity, but I just simply told them, hey, I'm full, but I'd love to pass that along to some other people. So anyway, take it or leave it. Guys, we're going to talk about, overwhelmingly, lots of people wanted to talk about proving the worth of your cash-based services to your clients. How do you do that? How do you, when you get those patients in front of you that are basically questioning that you're $150 a visit, how do you basically sell them on that? How does it work? And I want you guys to comment me if that's currently where you are at. Can you comment me just so I can know who's on here and who I'm talking to? Comment me for if you are struggling right now to selling people on your cash-based services. Andrea, Russell. All right, so I think it's Belisa. Just a second, guys. There we go. So yeah, it's a big problem. It's a big problem for us with cash-based services. Serena, I get asked the insurance question a lot. We're gonna go over the insurance question. Courtney, I told my doctor about it today. Belisa, Claire, it's a big problem, right? Amy, yes. So how do we do that? How do we go about it? I'm gonna go over exactly that. So thank you all for answering all those questions. I'm gonna get to all those questions. eventually on further live videos, but we're going to mainly address this because I think this takes an entire live video to cover, basically. But I want to talk to you guys about something first off that I've actually learned. You guys probably know his name. This is a stat thrown out there that I've learned from a few things, but there are 3% of people that are willing to buy right now. There's 3% of people. The other 97% want to trust you first. They want to learn more about you first. They want to find out more about you first to see if they can trust you. They want to know more about you so that they can then make a buying decision. Somebody texting me and it gets all screwy, but they want to know more about you so that they can make a buying decision. And then there's that rare 3%. Those are like the unicorns that are willing to, boom, this guy's perfect. I already know it. I don't even have to know him that well. I just dig you. I like you. I want to buy from you, and I want to work with you. That's the rare 3%. But how do we get more turning into that 3%? That's what I want to talk about. And we need to basically do 3 things. I wanted to give you guys kind of actionable steps here. We need to do 3 things when we basically sell a patient. Let's just go through the list real quick. Number 1 is inform them. Inform them about what we're doing, about how we're going to do it for them, and we'll get into that in a second. Number 2 is educate. Educate them on how you're going to be able to help them. And then number 3, and this is a word that lots of us physical therapists don't like, is just persuade. We've got to persuade them. But then again, how do we do that, right? So we're going to talk about that. But inform, educate, and persuade. Those are the 3 things that we have to basically do with a patient to get them to buy into a plan of care and not want to use their insurance. They want to use you. And believe me, this is 100% possible for all of you. Eric, what's up, man? Thank you guys for watching. So I want to talk about first what we need to do to tap into that. There are 2 different types of struggles that a patient deals with: internal and external struggles. Okay, internal and external struggles. That is what every single patient that you ever come across will be dealing with. Internal, we're going to get to in a second. External is like their pain. Think about it as their pain. Think about it as their back pain, that they're not able to do this activity. Those are external. Internal is what is really going on the inside that's causing distress because of that issue. So we want to tap into internal struggles. Internal. How do we tap into internal struggles? And number 1 is in that inform part. Belisa, I'm glad that you basically wrote that down for everybody. In that inform part, we need to talk to our patients. The number one step that I do in all my evaluations is I talk with them, and I just want them to tell me about their problems. If something comes up that you know what, usually a patient will always tell you what's truly bothering them if you allow them to. We have to allow them a space where they can tell us their problems and tell us what's truly going on. And you as the physical therapist have to dig deeper to figure that out for your patients. So for me, like if somebody is saying, hey, you know, I've been having back pain and things have been getting worse, you know, one question that I like to help dive into that area is, hey, you know, I'll use the name Kathy. Kathy, have you had any stress lately? That can really dive into and make back pain worse. Sometimes that can lead down a rabbit hole to saying, yeah. And I'll give you guys an example of a patient that I just had recently. Her name was Kathy, and we got to talking. It was basically neck pain, and I asked her that question, and she basically told me that she kind of glanced over it. She said, you know, but about 3 months ago, my daughter died. And this is what I want you guys to pick up from this first discussion that we have is we as physical therapists need to be more keen to pick up on that and immediately dive into that. Me as a physical therapist in the clinic, I would have just glossed over that and I said, oh man, I'm so sorry. And I would have kept going. Me now, knowing that I need to find their internal struggles, find what's truly bothering them, I dove in. I was like, Kathy, do you want to talk about that? She said, yeah, you know, I haven't talked to too many people about it. She talked to me about it. It was obviously a big emotional moment. Within about 5 minutes, she was crying and she was telling me about what was going on. And I really, got down to the nitty gritty with her very quickly. And I said, I think this may be affecting your back pain more than you think. What do you think? And we started to get into this conversation about what internally is going on that could be adding to this. Guys, it's not going to happen like that every single time. Like for my executives, I talked about last week that they truly want to just feel like they're not slowed down in life. If I can speak to an executive and basically get to the bottom of, hey, why are we here? Why are we doing this? And they can tell me basically, look, I don't, I can lead them down on that path of maybe telling me, I don't want to be slowed down. I don't want this to affect me. I don't want my back pain to affect me so much that I put on weight and it affects my marital relationship. I don't want my back pain to not allow me to do the things that I love and to get to experience life, because I've built up all of this in my life and had all of the success, and now I can't use it. That's the stuff that's going to sell, and we're going to get into that in a second. So when we're informing our patients, that, to me, that's just talking to them, getting to the root cause. Guys, when you are trying to sell somebody on a plan of care like this, you've got to become better at this. And it's taken me 2 years to become better at this. We've got to become better at talking to our patients and finding the root cause of why they're actually seeing you. And 99 out of 100 times, it's not just because of the pain. It's something else. I'll give you guys another example. I just saw a 13-year-old boy in his home, kind of a chronic back pain issue. Hadn't been getting help from a physical therapy clinic. That was just, they were doing piriformis stretches and hip flexor stretches. That's all they were doing. They came to me and they said, Josh, what can you do? I came into the home, I talked to them, and I was just like, Caleb, and guys, this kid's 13 years old. I was like, Caleb, man, what's this stopping you from doing? And he told me right up, because kids are a little bit more, they're willing to give that up easier than us adults. And he immediately said, well, sometimes I get a little bit held back because I'm afraid to like step on a base wrong in baseball, and that pain's going to shoot up my back. And I was like, so it's making you hesitate, right? And do you feel like that's affecting your play? He was like, oh yeah, big time. Okay, it's affecting your play. Like, and then long story short, at the end of the evaluation, I was like, Caleb, man, if we can get your back pain out of the way, but more importantly, if we can get you back to playing 100%, where you're 100% confident that you're not going to step out on base and that right side of your back's going to flare up and just give you that intense pain shooting all the way up your back. If we could do that for you, do you want that to happen? He was like, yeah. And by then the parents were like, yes, we don't want him to get pulled out of the game. I was like, yes, exactly. So get down to the root cause of the problem, and then inform your patients on how you can do that. And that also comes into educating your patients. So you're informing them, and then you're educating them on what you can do for them. But that all comes down to reaching that internal struggle that they're dealing with. I want you guys to think about this statement real quick. I'm going to read you a statement that has been one of the most impactful things of my practice I've ever had. And in fact, I want you guys to write this down. And then I also want you to tell me if this really speaks to you. I'm going to read you one sentence. If I can make people believe that my new opportunity holds the keys to what they desire most, internal struggle. If I can make people believe that my new opportunity holds the keys to what they deserve the most, and is only attainable through my specific vehicle, your practice, then all other objections and concerns become completely irrelevant, and they have to give me their money. Let's read that again. If I can make people believe that my new opportunity holds the keys to what they desire most, and is only attainable through my specific vehicle, your practice, then all other objections and concerns become completely irrelevant, and they have to give me your money, their money. So that was told to me a long time ago by my business coach, Greg Todd, and I'm just passing it on to you guys. That message right there basically shows you in a nutshell what we need to do when we're selling somebody on a cash service. If we can get them to believe and truly believe, by you being authentic, that your service and what you do is the key to getting what they want in their life, then money becomes no object. Guys, I want to tell you something that I think about a ton, even when I'm with, I know I see executives, and I have a lot of people that tell me on a regular basis, Josh, you see executives and they're wealthy and they've got all the money in the world. Yes, but I also see those middle-class families. And I'll tell you one thing. Every single person has a credit card. Every single person. And every single person is willing to use that. If they do not have the financial cash flow, they have a credit card that they are willing to use, usually at any point in time, if they value your service. All you have to do as the provider, and this is a big accompanying statement, but all you have to do as the provider is show them exactly what you're going to do and how you're going to help them to achieve that. So let's get into this a little bit more. This basically all ties into one thing, confidence. And I want you guys to type in the comment section, confidence. If confidence and self-esteem is some area that you feel like that you have trouble in, comment confidence down low. Again, I want to see, of the 13 of you on, who is dealing with this, who's dealing with confidence issues when you're in front of your patients. Comment confidence. And it's okay. I still deal with it to this basis. To this very day, I deal with it. So comment confidence if it's something that you deal with. Will, Russell, Andrea, I think we all deal with confidence. Aaron, we all deal with confidence issues. But the one thing that our patients want from us in order to buy a cash-based plan of care is they want our confidence. So it's kind of a catch-22. Lots of us as physical therapists, as we transition to a cash-based practice, we don't have very much self-esteem and confidence about what we're doing. It grows over time. Mine's significantly grown over time. Lots of you that are watching, lots of you are consistently showing more and more confidence. Chelsea, actually a strong suit of mine. Confidence is key. So this is going to speak to a lot of you. But I want to talk about how we can use confidence. First off, I want to tell every single one of you on here, Leanne, Katrina, Chelsea, everybody watching, Belisa, who else is on here? Amy, Aaron, Andrea, Will. All of you guys are experts in your area. Every single one of you. Because all of you have a very specific talent. You all have a very specific uniqueness about you. You all are the experts in your area. You're the experts in your practice, because for most of you, you're the only one in your practice. You are the expert. If you are not giving confidence to your patient, you are doing them a disservice. Let's say that one again. If you are not giving and portraying confidence to your patient, you are doing them a disservice. If we are not giving our patients the confidence that we have in ourselves and portraying and projecting that onto them, number one, they're not going to buy our plan of care. But then number two, you're doing them a disservice because they're not going to buy your plan of care. And I know every single one of you out there is the best option for your patients. So you've got to be confident in yourself. There's multiple ways to do that. The way that I used to do it in the very beginning, and I just told my coaching group this last night. We were on a call, and I wanted to talk about self-esteem. I read this in a business book a long time ago, and I've been doing it ever since. Is in the beginning, especially when I used to see a new patient, I would literally, this is going to sound corny to you guys, I would just tell myself, I love myself. I love myself. I love the person that I'm becoming. I love what I'm able to provide my patients. I love myself. I literally see patients. And it's amazing just by simply doing that, you loving yourself and liking yourself, how much your confidence will increase. But then coupled on top of that is continuing to remind yourself that, hey, it is my responsibility to make sure that that patient that I'm about to go see is completely confident in my service. And how do we do that? Let's dive into that. How do we do that? So basically, a patient is looking for two things from you. They either buy, well, they're looking for two things in order to buy. But there's two basically kind of objections based on confidence. They number one, which this one doesn't happen as much. Number one is they don't trust themselves to get the job done. Maybe they don't have enough discipline, or they know they're not going to be able to follow through with your plan of care. That's a lot more rare, but we do have patients like that. Number two is they just don't simply trust you. That's the main reason that most people will not buy a cash-based plan of care. They don't trust you. But how do you build trust very quickly? It's confidence. Now, one thing, confidence is a big difference between, there's a big difference between confidence and cockiness. I've talked about this before on my podcast with David Bailiff. I don't go in there and just say, hey, I'm the shit. You got to do this and you're going to get better. By no means. We've got to be authentic and show that our patients that we're authentic. But how do we be confident? And I'm going to go over my number one recommendation in order to be confident. Is this one thing, and I feel like this is from talking to so many physical therapists, this is where we falter, is through the evaluation process, we talk to them, we listen, we find out what that internal struggle is, right? We talk to them, and then we do our formal evaluation, whatever that looks like for you. But then you give them your final recommendation. And this is where the confidence comes into play. You give them your expert opinion of what they need to do, what they need to go through to fix that issue. And this is where we miss the mark, is I think, especially me as a physical therapist, I can just speak to my own experience. How I used to end evaluations in the clinic before I had my own practice, it was like, yeah, I think like 2 times a week for 6 weeks will probably be sufficient to help with your back pain. That's not too confident of an answer. Now it's like, Kathy, I'm going to use the example of Kathy. Kathy, we've talked. First, number one, you told me that stress is playing into this a lot. And along with the stress that you've been experiencing, I think that basically you've got some chronic issues going on with your neck. I think we found that in the evaluation process. Can you agree with that? That's showing them that they need help, is asking them a question like that. Do you agree with that? And yeah, of course, yeah, I think we definitely found that. And I know that I've got chronic issues with my neck. Since you've got chronic issues with your neck, and this has been, you've been dealing with this for a long time, my expert opinion is look, Kathy, this is probably going to take a little bit longer than you may have thought to completely get better. But I'll tell you from my experience, I've seen a lot of people with an issue like this, and they will get better over time. I just need you to dedicate yourself to me and sticking with this plan of care, and I will get you better, because I've seen through other patients with very similar situations to you that they have gotten better. And if they've gotten better, you can get better. But I just need you to dedicate yourself to this plan of care. Do you think you can do that? And at the end of my evaluation, I have a 1 to 10 basically bar that I ask them, and I say, hey, from 1 to 10, how ready are you to make this change in your life? From 1 to 10, how excited are you to make this change in your life? And there's a few other questions, but basically I ask them those for a reason, and I tell them, look, Kathy, I think you're the perfect patient to work with me, and I know that I can help you. I think that based on your answers, by the way, Kathy, I only take people that answer from 7 to 10 on those questions, because I want only the people that are going to be dedicated to their plan of care. I want to help people long-term get out of their issues, get out of their problems. And that only that only happens with long-term commitment. But I think for you to be realistic, 2 times a week for 8 weeks, 16 visits is really what it's going to look like to actually get you to where you want to go, Kathy. That's what it's going to take. But 2 times a week for 8 visits, and we will clear that up. Kathy, that's going to be this amount of money. Do you feel like it is worth $2,000 to reach that internal struggle that we found? Kathy, do you feel like it's worth $2,000 to dedicate yourself to this plan of care and change your life? That's how serious I am with my patients. That's how you sell a plan of care. And one thing that I want to, you guys are going to have your own spin on things. You're going to have your own way of doing things. But the number one thing that I want to get across is you have to have confidence. We are experts. Every single one of us are experts in our area. And we have to show them that we truly believe we're the expert, that we truly believe that we are the best damn option for that patient. And if you can show that patient that, you're going to have more and more people buy into your plan of care. Now, believe me, there are always going to be patients that are just simply not ready. And you could be the best salesman in the world. You could be the best motivator in the world. They're just simply going to say, you know what, gosh, that sounds so amazing, but yeah, $2,000 is a lot of money. And I'd like to just take this one visit at a time. I'd be like, I say that's fine all the time to patients. That's great. But as long as you're dedicated to making this happen 2 times a week, then let's do this thing. I want to help you to get through this problem. If you can show people that you're genuine, authentic, and man, you are confident as hell that you're going to get them better, I don't know anybody that wouldn't want to buy into that plan of care, because I think our plan of cares are just too stingy. They're too lenient as to, hey, I think this can happen. And one question that I know that a lot of people have raised to me is, hey, what happens if you don't get them better in that time? That happens, right? How many, put a raise your hand emoji if that's ever happened to you guys. Maybe you haven't gotten that patient better in that plan of care. That's happened to me. I know it has multiple times. But I know one thing. I've never had a patient that we haven't achieved what they wanted to in that time frame that has wanted their money back, because they know that I will do everything in my power to make sure that we achieve that goal. And typically they'll continue going with me because they know that I'm going to give everything I got to make sure that goal happens. Has that happened with any of you guys? Just let me know if that's ever happened to you, because I think it happens to a lot of us that we sometimes it's just hard to always 100% deliver on a plan of care. It's just not reality. It's not going to happen. So I think that's really, really important to remember. But the main thing I wanted to get across to you guys is confidence. That's my number one recommendation. And basically one question that you guys can take from this live video and you start using tomorrow is, after you get done with your evaluations, ask your patient, Kathy, are you ready to get this problem solved? I can help you. Are you ready to get this problem solved? Are you ready to do this thing? And see what your patients say. And honestly, shut up after that. See what your patient has to say. But are you ready? Are you ready to actually take care of this issue and make sure that it doesn't come back? That's how I sell a plan of care. And I think confidence, if you're able to portray it through the way that you go through a plan of care, that's how you're going to sell more and more on a cash-based plan of care. And you'll see, as you get better and better at it, that you will no longer have as many objections. I think for me in the beginning, if I can put myself back 2 years ago, is I thought I had a great system to my evaluations. I had a great system, and nothing needed to be changed. But clearly, a lot needed to be changed for me to sell a patient on a cash-based plan of care. So I would suggest to all of you out there, like, really, really think about your evaluation process, and more think about it as, how can I get that internal struggle out of my patient? How can I get them talking more about their problems? And then how can I use that to basically give them confidence that I'm the person that's going to help them with their problem, no one else, that my service is the best service out there that's going to be able to help them. And it's not by listing off the number of great things about you. It's not by listing off and saying, hey, I'm manually certified, and I'm Titleist certified, and I'm this and I'm that. That's not the way that you're going to sell people, because those are external factors. People don't care about those. They care about the internal factors, the internal struggles. So if we can get down to the nitty gritty of that, that's how we're going to sell patients. Does that make sense for everybody? And please, as we're going, there's still 13 of you guys on. Please give me some questions, because I just kind of went on this rant, and I want to know what you guys are thinking. So give me some questions. But basically, one last thing before I get into one question that I wanted to answer for Katrina. But if you confidently present your expert opinion and they still object, they may still not trust you yet. And if they don't trust you, how can they learn to trust you? That's going to be through social media, putting content out there, giving people other ways to get to know you before they buy into you. So social media is a great way. Having 3 things that they can get off of your website, like a checklist to help with their problems. setting up free discovery calls with you. All of those are basically tactics to win a patient's trust. And to win a patient's trust, they need to be confident in you. So that's how it's done. I don't know if this is just frozen on 13 people or if there really is 13 of you on, but I can't see any questions. So I hope you guys aren't asking them and I can't see them. But that's how I sell a plan of care. That's how I basically sell somebody on a cash plan of care. But one question that I want to address real quick is, do you take my insurance? Do you take my insurance? And this is a great question that a lot of you have asked. And my answer to that every single time is, if I get that on the phone, which is usually the case, do you take my insurance? I will simply just say, hey, Mrs. So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so, can I ask the reason why you're calling first before we get into the insurance question? Yeah, my back's been killing me. Hey, tell me about that real quick. What's been going on with your back? Talk about that. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Then always go back to the insurance question, because you want to answer that question for your patients. And I always circle back after I talk to them about what their actual problem is, and I'll address that. And I'll say, hey, Mr. So-and-so, so I don't take insurance. I'm a cash-based service, but I believe, after what you've told me, I believe that I could help you. Would you be willing to set up a free evaluation with me to meet in person and see if we can be a good fit for each other, number one, and then number two, if I can help you? Let's just do that and see if we jive with each other and see if I can help you with your situation. So that's exactly how I attack that insurance question. Is as soon as I get it, I will basically ask the patient first, hey, can I ask why you're calling? Yeah. So I have neck pain, blah, blah, blah. Well, tell me more about that neck pain. How long has this been going on? What's it stopping you from doing? All of those types of questions. Then circle back. Hey, Mr. So-and-so, I know that you asked me about insurance. I want to answer that question for you. I do not take insurance. So I am a cash-based provider, and I am out of network with all insurance companies. But I truly believe that I can help you. How do you feel about setting up a free evaluation? Something like that. And then quickly try to get them onto your schedule. So that is the way that I go about things. And then I wanted to answer, guys, I think my Facebook Live is 100% frozen. I don't know. Maybe we actually broke Facebook, which I think it's still showing 13 of you on. So, but I want to answer one more question that Katrina asked, and how do I get patients back / communicate when their MD tells them to go to their own PTs? And my answer to that's happened to me a few times, Katrina, is that basically somebody has come to me and then their MD has said, hey, go see my PT. And I think number one is you got to build trust with them. If they really want to go over to that other provider, that's fine. They can go over to that other provider, but I would not lose touch with that patient. I would continue to provide value just over the phone, and I continually call those patients and say, hey, this is one great question to ask them, Katrina. Maybe 2 weeks down the line, hey, Brian, I just wanted to call real quick and see how you're doing, number one, and then also see, is your pain being addressed at that clinic? Do you feel like you're getting the help that you need? Okay, you are. That's fantastic. I just wanted to make sure that was getting done. Boom, click. That problem really hasn't been fixed yet. Hey, Brian, I'd love to set up a free evaluation with you and just see if we can meet in person and just see if I can be a good fit for you, to see if I can fix that problem for you. And people are a lot more willing than you think to go against that if they haven't been receiving the care that they deserve. So it also depends on the specific situation, but that's that. Hey, hopefully that answers all of your questions. There's a few other unanswered questions that I'm going to get to next week, but I am so sorry. Facebook sucks sometimes, and my live video seems to be 100% frozen. I'm not seeing anything that you guys are posting. Not sure what's going on, but I will do my best to answer all of your guys' questions after this live video is over. I'll go through the comment section and see what you guys have posted. But you guys have a great night. And I'll be back next Wednesday with another No BS Wednesday. I want to continue to answer your guys' questions and give you guys solutions. So have a great night, and we'll talk soon.